A storm is coming to the NFC South, and it's wearing red and black. The Atlanta Falcons just made a move that could shake the entire division, maybe even tilt the balance of power for years to come. What's happening in Atlanta isn't just news. It's a warning to the Saints, to the Bucks, to the entire NFL. The Falcons aren't rebuilding, they're rising. Something big is happening in Atlanta, and if you're a Falcons fan, you better pay attention, because this could be the moment everything changes. The NFC South? It might never be the same again. The Falcons are back in the spotlight, not just because of one move, but because of what that move means. After a season full of highs and lows, moments of pride mixed with frustration, Atlanta is standing at a crossroads once again. The choices they make right now could shape the future of this team for years. And here's the headline everyone's talking about. Khalil Mack is reportedly signing with the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, that Khalil Mack, one of the most dominant pass rushers in NFL history. A true defensive nightmare. A guy who changes the energy of every snap he's on. And if the rumors are true, he's bringing all that fire to Atlanta. The moment this news hit the league, it felt like an earthquake. Falcons fans lit up. NFC South rivals? They got nervous. Because let's be real, this isn't just about one player. This is a statement. Now, before we break down what Mack brings to the table, let's remember how we got here. Back in 2016, the Falcons were flying high. That magical Super Bowl run with Matt Ryan and head coach Dan Quinn had fans dreaming of a dynasty. They had one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and it felt like the start of something big. But the NFL is brutal. Injuries, roster turnover, the Saints and Bucks getting hot. Atlanta never found that same spark again. The team kept searching, trying to rebuild, especially on defense. And that brings us to now. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Falcons' defense has been a problem. Last year, they finished near the bottom of the league in sacks. Only 31 total. That's 31st out of 32 teams. That's not just bad, it's game-losing bad. If you can't pressure the quarterback in today's NFL, you're in trouble. The trade for Matthew Judon was supposed to help, and it did, a little. But 6 sacks and just 25 pressures? That's not enough. Not when you're trying to win a division. Not when every snap counts. So the Falcons knew they had to act. And that's why this offseason feels different. The 2025 NFL Draft has some great young defensive talent, especially at edge rusher. But rookies take time. Free agency? That's where you find leaders, game changers. And Khalil Mack is both. He's not just a pass rusher, he's a tone setter. A guy who brings intensity to every down. He might be exactly what this Falcons defense has been missing. This move, if confirmed, could be the turning point. So now it's your turn, Falcons Nation. Are you all in on Khalil Mack? Do you believe this defense is finally turning the corner? Rate your confidence from 1 to 10 in the comments, and let's see where this fanbase really stands. The Falcons just fired a warning shot. Are you ready for what comes next? Now, let's be real. I know what some of you are thinking right now. Khalil Mack? Isn't he past his prime? And honestly, that's a fair question. No, he's not the same unstoppable monster from 2018, the one who made offensive lines shake just by showing up. That version of Mack was terrifying. That version wrecked entire game plans on his own. But here's the thing. Even if Mack is operating at 80%, he's still better than most edge rushers in the league. This guy doesn't need to be peak Mack to make a huge impact. He still brings speed, power, leadership, and, most of all, fear. And that's something this Falcons defense has been missing for a long time. Even now, Mack is no joke. He's been named to the Pro Bowl in each of the last 3 seasons while with the Chargers. That's not a player fading away. That's a player who still knows how to dominate, especially when it matters most. Let's also look at where Atlanta is coming from. The Falcons finished 31st in sacks last season. That's second worst in the entire NFL. No pressure, no disruption, no fear from opposing offenses. That's a recipe for disaster, and Atlanta knows it. This team desperately needs a spark off the edge. They need someone who can light up a quarterback, force a fumble, and change the momentum of a game with one play. That's exactly the kind of player Khalil Mack has always been. NFL insider Mike Jones from The Athletic has been one of the loudest voices saying Mack could land in Atlanta, and he lays it out perfectly. The Falcons need more than just a decent pass rusher. They need a game changer, and Mack fits that role perfectly. But this isn't just about numbers. This is about energy, about attitude, about identity. You bring in a guy like Mack, and suddenly the entire defense walks a little taller. The young players learn how to work, how to prepare, how to hunt the quarterback. You build a culture around toughness and aggression, and that is how championship defenses are born. Now, of course, signing a guy like Mack comes with a cost. It's not cheap. Atlanta isn't exactly swimming in salary cap space. But this is where smart teams figure it out. Restructure a contract. Cut a few loose ends. Make the room. When a player like Khalil Mack is available, you find a way. Because this move? It's more than just filling a hole on the roster. It's a message. A message to the fans. A message to the locker room. A message to the rest of the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons are done playing catch-up. We're here to compete. Now, think about what happens next. You pair Mack with some of the young, hungry talent already on this roster. Maybe add a dangerous rookie pass rusher in the draft. And suddenly, you've got something real. A defense that punches you in the mouth. A front seven that makes quarterbacks panic. That's how you flip a division. And let's not ignore the bigger picture. The Saints are rebuilding. The Bucs are holding on. The Panthers are betting everything on their rookie QB, but Atlanta? They're ready to rise. If they land Mack, and maybe add just one more defensive piece, the Falcons could take control of the NFC South. Not in 2 years. Right now. A dominant defense creates turnovers. It shortens the field. It helps your offense score fast. That's how you win close games. That's how you steal wins from division rivals. That's how you make the playoffs. This isn't just a big move. This could be the start of something special. A move that sends a ripple through the entire Falcons organization, and maybe the entire NFL. Because signing Khalil Mack? That's not just about getting one good player. It's a domino effect. When you bring in a guy like Mack, a proven leader, a veteran, a warrior, everything starts to change. The defense plays with more confidence. The young guys learn faster. The locker room energy shifts. You start to win more games. You push for the playoffs. And suddenly, you're not just hoping to make noise, you're thinking about a Super Bowl run. Yes, seriously. And when we look at where the Falcons are right now, it's not just wishful thinking. This team has been quietly building, piece by piece, adding young talent, developing their quarterback, bringing in the right coaches. This offseason, it might be the one where all those little moves come together, where all the planning finally clicks. The defense, which was a major weak spot last year, has the chance to become a strength. That's not a small change. That's a game changer. And Khalil Mack? He's not just a boost. He's a statement. A player who brings intensity on every down. A guy who can shut down the run, collapse the pocket, and make the quarterback nervous before the ball is even snapped. A guy who doesn't just show up, he shows out. But here's something even more important. Mack brings leadership. He's not loud. He doesn't have to be. But his presence? It demands respect. Younger players will follow his lead. The standard rises. The focus sharpens. You don't bring in Khalil Mack to go 7-10. You bring him in because you want to win now. This would send a clear message to the team, to the fans, and to every other team in the NFC South. Atlanta is done rebuilding. It's time to rise. Now let's zoom out for a second. Because this move isn't happening in a vacuum. It fits into a bigger story, a long history of Atlanta football. For years, the Falcons have been known for high-powered offenses, Matt Ryan slinging it, Julio Jones flying downfield, highlight reel plays every Sunday. But defense? That's been the Achilles heel. They've tried different strategies, drafting defenders high, signing veterans, adjusting schemes, but it never quite clicked. The one thing they've always needed more than anything else? A real pass rush. Because that's the key. That's the difference between being competitive and being dominant. Look at every great team that's won a championship. The 2002 Bucks. The Legion of Boom in Seattle. Even the modern Chiefs, yes, they have Mahomes, but that relentless front four matters just as much. Games are won in the trenches. And right now, the Falcons are trying to build that kind of defense. A defense that causes chaos. That forces mistakes. That can flip a game with one sack, one strip, one play. Signing Khalil Mack would be a massive step toward that goal. Because it's not just about adding talent, it's about building an identity, a new culture. One based on toughness, fearlessness, and championship ambition. And with how tight the NFC South is right now, every single game matters. One extra sack could be the difference between 10-7 and 9-8. One forced fumble could be the difference between a division title and sitting home in January. This is why Atlanta needs to keep the pressure on. The draft is coming. And yes, the Falcons have early picks, chances to bring in help at linebacker, corner, or even offensive line. But let's be honest. The top priority is still the pass rush. If the Falcons can combine a smart draft with a big move like Khalil Mack in free agency, this defense could become one of the most dangerous in the NFC. The fans feel it. The energy is different. After years of waiting, of rebuilding, of trying to figure it all out, Atlanta finally looks ready to take that next step. And don't overlook the front office. This group isn't afraid to swing big. They've made bold moves before, and they'll do it again if they believe it's the right move for the future. You can feel it in the air. This team isn't rebuilding anymore. They're reloading, they're refocusing. And now, they might be ready to strike. Every move the Falcons have made recently tells the same story. They're not here just to compete. They're here to win. Bringing in a player like Khalil Mack? That's not just smart, it's loud. It sends a message across the league. Atlanta means business. And sometimes, that kind of statement is exactly what a franchise needs to flip the script. Head coach Raheem Morris and his staff have been putting in the work. You can see it in the development of the young talent. You can feel it in the way the culture is shifting, one practice, one locker room moment at a time. They're building a team that believes it can win. Not next year. Not in 5 years. Right now. The roster? It's coming together. There's a young, athletic defense with speed and potential. A versatile offense that can strike from anywhere. And a quarterback who's flashed serious upside. All that's missing is one big move to light the fire. And this could be it. Reports from insiders say the front office is seriously considering pulling the trigger on Khalil Mack. And that's not something they take lightly. It's a tight balancing act, managing the salary cap, protecting team chemistry, keeping the long-term vision alive. But if the front office believes the pieces are finally in place, this could be the start of a new chapter. A chapter where Atlanta isn't just chasing the pack, they're leading it. The entire NFC South is shifting. The Bucks are trying to hang on. The Saints are reworking their core. The Panthers are rebuilding from scratch. But the Falcons? They're rising fast. And signing a veteran leader like Mack could give them the edge they need, not just on the field, but off it too. This is how you build a team with an identity, a team that punches first, plays fast, and refuses to back down. Yes, the draft is coming. Yes, there are other holes to fill. But if you want to take a big leap forward in this league, sometimes you need to take a bold swing. And this swing? It could push Atlanta into real playoff contention, and maybe even Super Bowl dreams. Whether Mack signs or not, one thing is crystal clear: the Falcons are building something special. They're stacking talent, they're shaping the future, and they're fighting to take back their place among the NFL's elite. And for us, the fans, this is the kind of offseason we live for. All right, Falcons Nation, now it's your turn. Do you believe Khalil Mack is the missing piece we've been waiting for? Or do you worry about the price tag and long-term impact? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Be honest, be bold, this is your team, your voice. How confident are you in the Falcons' future from 1 to 10? Let's talk about it. Because this isn't just a game. This is Atlanta. This is family. And together, we believe something great is coming.